Okay, today we have an point of the now, Mr. Prashath, CEO and Managing Director of Triton IT Solutions. So, welcome, sir.
Welcome. Thank you so much.
So, tell me a brief about your company and about yourself.
So I'm a student of Velammal. I'm an alumni of Velammal Engineering College. I did my instrumentation engineering from Velammal Engineering College from 2007 to 2011, and after that I got placed in TCS, where I worked for almost 2.5 years time. Then after that I quit TCS, and I have two options. One, I wanted to do my MBA, or else I wanted to start my something on my own. So MBA was planned because it will help eventually in business, or I wanted to move to the top level of the pyramid in a bigger company. TCS gave me an entry level work where I'm in the lower level of the pyramid. So I wanted to move to the top level of the pyramid where the management will take decisions, where I wanted to be part of the management and things like that. So those kind of things will give you opening when you have an MBA degree. So we didn't. So I didn't want to stay with TCS for a long period of time in the lower level of the pyramid. So I got admissions in Coventry University, and then in London, and then I got admissions in MDIS Singapore, and then a couple of other prestigious institutions. Then another thing that was lingering in my mind was, why don't you start something here, and then maybe we can take an MBA later point of time. Then eventually I met a friend of mine who was in TCS, who had a startup, and we had an idea, discussed with each other, and said, why don't we do something like this? Else we may not have the time to build it after a point of time. So I'm talking about 2013-14, where the startup ecosystem was just booming in India. So Flipkart was just booming. Flipkart raised funds and things like that. So those period of time I'm talking about, where startup was just a fancy idea, but not correct. It was just a buzzword, as you said. Yeah. So it was not a career that no one will choose. Like, it was something like that. So we wanted to do the product. We started the company. We floated the company in 2013, and then lack of funds. What you have to do is you will have to quickly dive into something else which will keep the company afloat, right? So we started doing IT services, where we started with website development, and then you grow over a period of time eventually, right? So that's how it is. We grew from website development to e-commerce, and then from e-commerce to CRM applications and things like that. And there was a major turning point where we worked with Chennai Metro Rail in 2017. So that was the first time when Chennai Metro Rail opened up for startups, for smaller companies. So that changed the destiny of the company, where a large organization, like a government organization like Chennai Metro Rail, working with us, we developed the complete system for them, the internal system and the mobile app that you see in the App Store, Play Store. We built it for them. So that was a game changer for us. From there is no looking back. So we've been here almost 10. We completed 10 years now, and we have bigger goals, and then we are expanding in a much faster pace. We wanted to make it up for the 3-year COVID period that we didn't expand. It was a conscious decision that we didn't expand during the COVID. Why? Because we don't want to lose in the game. Second is, we don't want to scale too fast and scale too fail. I mean, too fast to fail. That's something which companies were doing, but they scaled up too fast during the COVID, and they failed fast after the COVID. So even bigger companies. So we didn't want to do that. We wanted to keep the steady pace at which we were going. And the first 3 months of COVID was like no clue about what's happening, what is going to be the outcome of the lockdown and things like that. So we had to say, okay, let's hold on for something which we had expansion plans and things like that. And we were able to survive during the COVID, and eventually a lot of good things that happened during the COVID for us, like Sundaram Finance, and then a couple of major companies that we work with, all happened during the COVID. So it was like that. COVID was a blessing in disguise for us, is what I would say.
So you said you said did projects for CMRL and Sundaram Finance.
Mm.
So I'm asking, what was the memorable project? I'm not asking the first or the successful project. What was your memorable project in this company?
See, each project what we do is a memorable one for us. Why? Because we take the pain of giving the best for each product that we do, because that is what is going to fetch us the next business that we look at. Let's say each of the product that we did today fetched us the next set of businesses from the same customers or through referrals. You believe or not, today we don't have a sales team, so it's all through word of mouth, all through referrals. So it was each project that gave us the next client to us, or the next phase of the same project, or the next project from the same client. So it's been like that. It's a repeat customers for us. So that is one thing that I would always be proud of in our company. Without a sales team, surviving for 10 years with referral customers is something which is good.
In my opinion, also it's the biggest achievement. Without a sales team, surviving 10 years is the biggest achievement.
So now we realize that we have to expand further. We have got a sales team in place now. We have got a marketing team in place. So we are expanding on that front now. We are still working on referrals. That is still the 70% business that's coming from the referrals that we have. But we are also looking out to expand furthermore.
I say the word of mouth is better than this.
It's always, yeah.
So let's get into by the book questions from now on. So the question is the one principle that you have held on to that has carried you this far. Like you have like a rule number one.
So I wouldn't. I wouldn't put it as one rule. Maybe there are 3-4 rules that you need to follow as a business person. One is the never give up attitude that you should have, the thick skin for failures. So when you fail, you don't give up. That will always take you to the next level. You always pursue what you have. Second is the honesty, ethics. The business principles that you have should have ethics in it, should have honesty in it. There are a lot of places where we have been very honest with people, and we have the ethics to run the business in a proper way. So those are certain basic principles that has always kept us apart from the rest of the competition.
Which character trait of you has admired you the most of yourself?
Right. The aggression that I have. Yeah. So there are 2-3 things that I am surprised with myself. Where I admire Mr. Dhoni, who has been an outstanding captain for Indian cricket team. I mean, he has achieved something which has not been achieved by any of the captains so far. The calmness that he has in the ground when there is that is one. Second is the Kohli's aggression. That is something that has fetched us a lot of accolades for the team, right? And then there is something who is on the other side, which is Sachin Tendulkar, the master of the game. So I read from these 3 people because they have been the ambassadors of the game, and these 3 have some unique traits that is putting them apart from the rest of the players, right? So when you talk about Sachin, you have lots of things to talk about. When you talk about Dhoni, you have a lot of things to talk about, right?
So the next question would be, one relationship who has contributed to the making of it. This is extra. How do you? One relationship that has been the biggest support, maybe father, mother, spouse.
Yeah, there are 2-3 people who have been very, very supportive in my entrepreneurial journey. One is my father. Without him, I wouldn't be in the place where I am today. I mean, the passion that I have was instilled by him. So coming from a middle class family, from where he was to where he reached in his career, is something which I'm very inspirational about. And the people whom I met, the places wherever I went, was all by him. And that inspired me to start something on my own. And he was the first one to say, start something on your own if you want to. I will take care of the family. So the family is not dependent on you or on your salary. So it is something that I've been taken care of. You can always go and conquer. Maybe you fail and then you'll grow up again. You learn and then you do whatever mistakes that you wanted to do.
Your father was the person in a job or in a business?
Yeah, he was a banker. Yeah. He's a banker. He worked for State Bank of India. So he was kind enough to say that you go start something on your own. As a banker, they will always look at the risk of businesses, right? They would have seen tons of businesses fail. Yeah, so there are tons of businesses that have been failed in the market. As a banker, you would have seen all those. So those are some things that, apart from that, he said, you start something, even if you fail, you don't give up, you do something. There is always, reward for something which you don't give up, right? So that is something which I remember for my lifetime.
So even as a banker, still he supported you.
Yeah.
That was a good.
Yeah. And my mother, there has been a lot of sacrifices because most of my time would be late nights, early mornings. So she adapted her lifestyle for me. So she sacrificed a lot of things for me. So that is something which I will never forget of. And now my wife and kids, where they are like adapting to my lifestyle, to the work that I do and things like that. There has been always ups and downs in my business, and my family has been always there with me, thick and thin. Whichever the situation is, they have never let me down on that.
Okay, so the next question would be, what is that one emotion of yours which consumes a lot of energy, and how do you channelize it?
See, failure is something which is always something which consumes a lot of energy. Whenever I fail, it takes some time to get back to my normal state.
So as an emotion, you are saying failure in the sense of sadness.
Yes, in the sense of when the emotion that you get when you fail, right? So that is something. But how do I channelize is like, say I take my time alone. I read the mistakes that I did, which caused the failure. Then I take corrective actions, and then I work on it again. There could be a lot of reasons for failure. It is not only you that you would have failed, right? It is because of the society. It is because of someone around. It is because of the people whom you're working with. It could be that could be a lot of reasons. So we take the readings of the failure, and then the necessary corrective actions for that. And from there, I move forward. I make sure I don't make the same mistake again. It could be dealing with wrong people. It could be dealing with money. It could be dealing with businesses, wrong businesses, and things like that. There could be a number of reasons for a failure, but there is always new mistakes to make, so you don't make the same mistake again. So that is something which I'm working on.
And Vasanthakannan, sir.
Yeah.
So yeah, you told that your family has supported for the entrepreneurship. So in general, how it is important for an entrepreneur to be supported by his family?
I think it is very, very important to be supported by your family, right from your parents, and at one point of time, your spouse and your kids. I mean, see, it is about like this sacrifices which you do for the first 10 years of your entrepreneur journey, especially if you're a first generation entrepreneur. It's very important that your family is also with you going through the ups and downs so that they can enjoy the benefit of it later point of time. See, it's always there is some time that is there till you become successful. And what the world sees is only the success that you achieve. But what the world doesn't see is the sacrifice that you go. So I think family is a greater part of your sacrifice they are already undergoing. A lot of entrepreneurs which I have seen, their family is undergoing a lot of financial issues. There will be financial issues, there will be mental issues, there will be psychological impact of an entrepreneur. The journey is not very easy. So the journey is always difficult. With people around you who is very supportive, journey becomes little much easier than compared to what it is.
So the journey will be like there are so much sacrifices for an entrepreneur. If there is a support, it will be much easier.
Yeah.
Right? So my next question is, what is your definition for success?
See, success, as everyone says, it doesn't stop anywhere. It is just one point where you reach, and then you look at the next point where you wanted to reach. So something you achieve in your business, and then you look at what is the next step that I wanted to do. So it is not like a definition where I wanted to climb the peak of it. It is like climbing a mountain. You climb the peak and then you say that I've reached the destination. It is not like that. You climb one peak, then from there you look at there are several peaks which you like to climb. So you take some rest when you achieve that peak, and then you prepare for the next one.
Yeah.
There is always something which will keep on going till the last breath of your life.
What has been the turning point of your life?
There are several turning points. To become an entrepreneur, as a decision which I have taken, is the first turning point in my life. Because honestly, I had no idea that I'll be able to run a business. Being a first generation entrepreneur, I never had the experience of running a business. When I started the company, I don't have any idea about finance, marketing, or operation, not even technology. So it is something which is new for me, which I learned over a period of time. Then you make mistakes from that, and then you learn from it, right? And we got a very big project in the first year of operations, and that was the major turning point of the company, where we learned, working with a German company, we learned the importance of time. Even if we are late by a minute, the next meeting will be cancelled. So it is like that. So Germans value the time, and then the value that you give for them for the product, right? So they value that a lot, which I sadly I don't see that in any Indians for working with them. But people who respect time are the ones who are very successful in life. So we understood the value of time working with Germans.
So you said the failures made you more success, right? So it is also a turning point.
Correct. See, each failure is a turning point.
Okay.
So wherever there is some, I wouldn't say it's the end, it's just a bend where you look at what is next and then you move on. You learn from your mistakes and then you move on. That is what I always look at it as failures.
What gives you the strength when you are feeling alone?
Yeah, all entrepreneurs are always alone. So, say for example, people who are always successful, I think they are always alone. You will not have not have a support when you're on the top. You'll have a lot of friends when you work in an organization. You'll have a lot of friends when you study in a college, and you tend to lose a lot of people when you go to the top of the pyramid. So your friends circles are limited, your social circles are limited. So I think most of the time I've been spending time alone, working out strategies for myself, for the business and things like that. I think alone is something which I like it because it's a me time where I get time to think about my business, myself, what I have to do better and things like that. See, it's always about your thoughts. I take it this way. See, idle minds is always devil's workshop. It means that if you're idle, your mind will think 1,001 things.
Yes.
It could potentially damage your complete career. So, but when you are alone, how you engage yourself in activities like reading books, movies, and then what you do for self improvisation and things like that. So that is something which I will always do.
Okay, so do you have a monthly planner or daily planner to spend some time with your family, to your friends?
I do, yeah. So I spend a lot of time with my family after I've got my kid. My kid is 3 years old now. So now I'm forced to spend time. So that is something which I have voluntarily kept at. See, weekends, mostly I tend to spend time with my kids if there are no meetings. But generally, in a day, at least 2-3 hours, I spend with my kid and family. I've allocated that.
So it is important to
It is important. It is always about balance.
balance between the work and the...
So you need to have a balance, which I lately realized that it is very important after you have a kid and you're married.
Finally, the last question.
Yeah.
Give some tips for the future entrepreneurs like us.
See, fail fast, learn fast, and then you will always be successful. I was very early when I started my business. I was 23 when I started. So at 33, I had my 10-year journey. And when I look backward and see, okay, I have done a lot of mistakes. I had my own time to learn and then I had my own time to rework on my strategies and come back again. So I consciously took this decision because one, I didn't have a married family where there are dependents on me. So that is something which I wanted to do, where I can take the risk. So risk is always equal to reward. And at some point of time, we cannot do blind risk also. So now if you ask me the risk which I have taken 10 years back, are you taking the same risk now? Definitely not. But what I am doing is calculate the risk now. So you'll have to calculate the risk. But without risk, there is no reward. So I would say have a never give up attitude. And then you need to have risk. Risk taking ability is always important. And you don't give up when you fail. It's always about you learn and then you grow. And from there you see how important the mistakes that you did, and you learn from the mistakes. Those are all the important qualities I think an entrepreneur should have.
So, last thing now, sir. So, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about Velammal Engineering College?
I think a place where I've learned what life is all about. I think that is a place where it has given me a platform for what I am today. If not Velammal, then I couldn't even imagine what my life would have been. If not Velammal, TCS wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
If not TCS, my first co-founder, I would have not found. If not my first co-founder, I would have not started my business. So I could see a series of events. Starting point is Velammal.
Oh.
So if not that, then I couldn't imagine what will happen. Yeah. So that is something which I'm always proud of, and I'm always thankful for Velammal.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
for your time.
Thank you so much.